Hello everyone, welcome in the umbraCoffee episode 250.
I titled this one, "We Don't Know What We're Doing" still, and I think that's very accurate because honestly, Marcin, we were talking about episode 250 for the past 10 episodes. We should do something.
Yeah.
Nothing. Yes. Absolutely nothing planned. So
I did something. You might have seen right now some behind the scenes of umbraCoffee from my perspective, at least, because I finally found my camera and I will be doing some higher quality streams from this episode. But yeah, we were planning a lot of plans to be present in our agenda, but we are doing business as usual.
We do have our 5th birthday coming up, though, which is an actual definitive date that I can't remember, coming up in the next week. So maybe we should do something for that. I mean, in the past, I had a cake with sparklers that nearly took my eyebrows off. I ate 12 donuts on an episode last year, I think. I had an umbraCoffee coffee, proper one, at in a mug, whatever. So
but then
what should we do for 5 years?
Yes. But I think, when we were talking, I thought maybe the rounded number is 256 or something like that, just to make it, nerdy, geeky. But we have some kind of really nice guests because, again, guys, people watching us all every week, it's thanks to you that we are still doing it. So first of all, big thanks for watching us and being with us with this such huge amount of episodes here. But we already passed 256 officially.
Yes, in fact, this is not our 250th episode. If you're paying close attention, maybe I'll give people a minute. We've got a minute to go work out how many episodes we've actually done. And it's not the number of videos we have on YouTube. So
we can have some prize for someone who will guess the exact number of umbraCoffee episodes. And I have some really very
nondescript,
strange, unbranded. Weird packages. Some of you might know.
Anyone that came to Code Garden might know a little bit more about this. Code Garden gets umbraCoffee coffee, special coffee. And
I have a whole box of them out there, which needs to be shipped somewhere soon. And we might have something prepared for at least our official 5th birthday. But again, thanks people for watching us and being with us on every Friday. And of course, we are not stopping here. It's a business as usual, as we've said, and we'll be doing it until we'll probably reach Stack Overflow somewhere.
I think the minute up, we have 2 guesses. Liam says it's the 350th. If it was, I think I'd be dead. Carl says it's 269th. It is not. I'll spoil it. It's our 261st episode. Well done, Matt Wise. You're one off. Good job. Sebastian saying the first episode was December 6th, 2017. No, it was not. It was the 30th of November 2017. We started this on a completely different YouTube channel, and a week or two in, moved it to a different channel. So the episode upload date is slightly different, but it's the very end of November, basically.
Yeah, but that's a huge number still and a huge accomplishment, and we are still learning. We're still improving with everything. We are more prepared than on some of the episodes. Sometimes we have a routine which is in place, despite of the fact that sometimes I am off or Callum is off, and we're still doing okay. I would say.
We've spoken about this over the years a bit, and I've said it to other people too, like. 5 years is a long time. I hadn't realized at that time. So Skrift is 7.5 years old right now. I didn't realize Skrift was only 2.5 years old when we started this. I thought Skrift had been there for like 10 years.
Yeah,
I thought
forever.
No, they've been going, 50% longer than we have, but still an incredibly long time. I know Warren's You Hangout series went on for a good 3 or 4 years and had it wasn't weekly at all times as well. But it's such a long time, and we have managed to keep it up weekly, every week, without fail. I think the exceptions are Christmas. We take a week off at Christmas, or maybe 2 weeks off some Christmases, and we did cancel one once so that we could have a birthday at the UK Fest.
Yes, and I had one on myself done just alone as well during this time.
Didn't you?
Yes, I did a solo umbraCoffee.
It's changed a lot, right, over these years. We've gone from, oh my goodness, we must have a guest. We haven't got a guest. What are we going to do? Scraping the barrel is the wrong word, but sending out 10 Slack messages going, please, someone join us. And then at the same time, I think we've become a little bit more comfortable with it being you and I. You said you've done one on your own, but where does it go from here? Do we have other hosts that swap in or something? I don't know. 5 years is a long time, and getting people that are excited about Umbraco maybe in the way that we are is tough as well. It's a really tricky one.
But usually when you go with the corporate world, sometimes you are asked where you see yourself in the 5 years from now on, etc. Right? Imagine where we see each other in the 5 years from now.
It's a good question. I wouldn't have said I was doing umbraCoffee if you'd asked me that 5 years ago.
Yeah, exactly. So we don't know. Let us know if you have any ideas on how to improve, how to change, how to evolutionize umbraCoffees, or let us know if you enjoy what we do, and still
we do we just do like a. I guess this translates well enough to our European viewers, but do we do like Top Gear, where they went from being like a weekly show to being we only do specials, or we only do events? Do we just do umbraCoffee specials? umbraCoffee road trip? I don't know.
Still, we're up for ideas. We don't want to stop it. Again, we had some ideas in the past. They didn't work out yet. Who knows? Maybe they will work out in the future. But we'll definitely visit events. There's more events happening. We always want to catch up with people, the real guests in front of us, also the guests in front of the monitors as well, highlight your work. So it's all based on what you do. And if you will provide us with a good input and the good work from the community, there will be always some topics to discuss and talk about, and that's what we do. And Carl said that in 5 years we'll be at episode 521. Yeah, that's and we'll be then still probably unprepared for our 10th birthday.
Yes. Okay.
That's easy to be predicted, at least, right? That's easy prediction.
At least we're consistent.
Yeah. That's exactly. But big kudos to everyone who is doing something in consistent periods of time. We know how hard it is. We know that it's a challenging, but same as with 100 days of code, or basically anything, writing blog posts, doing talks, attending events, or generally exercising, for example. It's a small habits that make a huge differences, and it is possible. So if you want to start something in inspiration by what we do here, that would be really lovely to hear about it. And then we can turn out to standard umbraCoffee content for today, because it was a normal week, and a lot of things happened. We can discuss them, starting from something new as well, which is Umbraco Marketplace. So we had an announcement we were discussing this for a while, because there were some in between works, there were some examples, there were some questions to the community or the package creators, how it can work. And now we can list some work and packages on the official new umbraco.com marketplace, searchable and separate listing of packages, integrations, categories. And it looks really good.
Yeah, I think so. It launches alongside V11 is the plan. So it's about a month away from launch at this point. And it's been talked about for a while. I think there's also, I don't know what's in there for launch, but I think there's bigger plans to have because this is the existing, it actually started as Umbraco apps, I think. This used to. But this is going to be the replacement for the packages section on our plus the promoted and kind of external solutions. Everything to be listed in there automatically has to be a NuGet package. So you have to create a NuGet package tagged with Umbraco-Marketplace, which is nice and easy to do, but it means I've got to go through all of my packages and do a new NuGet release to make it work. And it, of course, features a snazzy new design. And I think the idea eventually is that this will feed some more stats in about like usages of your package throughout the Umbraco ecosystem. You can probably you probably already know about the telemetry that posts back to Umbraco servers since 8 something. And the plan is to expose some of that to package authors. So this is going to become really useful, I think, longer term, and nice to have a new fresh new place.
And also, as it says here, of course, we were showing the old one on the website. Here, the information is that it will be also available for the Umbraco back office. So that's exactly where it will be kind of looked at as a packages in the past. What can be done with Umbraco, and I think also we'll be talking about it later on some of the links. But if we all remember Web Platform Installer, I think that's the kind of approach that was pretty familiar for all of the people doing the work. You are on the Microsoft stack. You want to do something with it, right? This is what you can do. You are on Umbraco.
Someone wrap this up into an Electron app or something, and you can have like the Umbraco platform installer.
Yeah, but again, as an action for us as a community, I think it's important to get familiar with how to be listed, then prepare the packages and everything what can be relevant to be listed there, of course, with the suggestions and information that are needed to make it work. And then ensure that it will be beneficial for the package and work to be placed there. I saw some of the questions related to the telemetry data. If thanks to this, it will be kind of also crawled and maybe gathered somewhere for the package creators. I don't know the answer. I don't know if Umbraco knows the answer yet, but there were some discussions about it, of course, and it was the couple of steps ahead of what was done with the telemetry. But it would be really interesting to take this marketplace enhancements to the place where other CMSs, like maybe not like WordPress yet, but with the ambition of having this kind of marketplace where the creators knows the popularity of their work, etc.
See, so WordPress is such an interesting one, right? Because there is a lot of rubbish that exists for WordPress, but you've kind of got 3 different facets to the community and the plugin ecosystem. So you have WordPress.org, which has the plugin library, and then you have let's say commercial plugins that are generally bought, and themes that are generally bought through Theme Forest, or I don't know, one of these kind of like marketplaces for plugins, and for premium plugins that people install and license separately. And then you have this sort of hacker maker community as well, where people post them up on their own blog. And then there's like WP Pro Dev or something is like a very popular place to go and find plugins. And so we don't really have that so much in the community. We have but then we have code snippets floating around people's blogs or GitHub and whatever else. So actually bringing this all into one place is really nice. And then all of that brings so much more power. The telemetry is being discussed in the chat as well. Warren's mentioned about quality here. I think I'd love to know what's gone into making sure this is curated. Like, can anyone just drop Umbraco-Marketplace in a package and then that gets hidden, for example, that gets shown, for example? Like, it'd be very interesting.
Sidecore packages.
Yeah. Indeed. Yeah, you could
migration tools.
Scam your way to the top of the list somehow by having a script that just downloads your package and whatever. It would be very interesting to see what Umbraco has done to make this more stable. Maybe we get Andy and the team on umbraCoffee at some point to chat about it.
Yeah, that would be really, really great to discuss, because again, of course, the motivation is to make the cross connections and also this composability more integrated as a part of the workflows of doing work with Umbraco, and make the tools available and seen for the people who might want to use them. So the motivation is clear, but of course it can be used in a different way. So that's the curation, and also the work behind the scenes needs to be done to make it really work. And as I I highlighted in the meantime, the launch of this new marketplace is planned for December, along with the Umbraco 11. So there is still time kind of to tweak it. And now we are just exposed with what is in the plans and in the work being made now. We can also prepare in this frame before it will be officially launched to be again listed in the initial launch of it. So yeah, that would be really, really great.
This is well timed, actually. I had a task this week to go through a couple of my V9 packages and update them for V10, but also for the V11 RC, because we have a project that needs them. And this is a perfect example, perfect time really to go, right, we're going to just do tag everything, set up all the metadata in there, and it's ready to go. So.
Well described here by Warren and everyone in the team. So yeah, just make sure that it's done. And we'll
I pointed out on Twitter today, yesterday I think, Sebastian did a release of a package where he updated everything he needed in one handy commit. So you can quite easily go to his repo. We'll try and find the link and put it down below. You can go to that repo, look at that commit, and see everything he changed to make it work.
It's here. So.
Indeed, it is. Is this the one? So Sebastian just tried to trick us, but just to prove that we're live. This was just tweeted, and Andy said, Sebastian said, "Oh, we've got a new release 2 minutes before umbraCoffee. Let's see what happens." But no, we caught it. Don't worry.
We cannot be tricked that way.
Too, I think one from Johan Runston. Who's added some nice fixes into the back office, for example, there. Icons, it looks great.
Yeah, so we captured it. Cool. We can then jump to releases, because that might be a really nice inspiration. And again, we can go to the commit message, commit change, exactly see what needs to be changed to make it work, and how Sebastian also got the version and everything else for this package. Other great inspirations in package created are definitely from the Limbo side and Anders who released.
We don't have a banner for this section, do we? No, we don't. I thought we were going to have like an Anders appreciation time or something.
We need to. But this is again a great example of the consistent, very high quality, relevant work being delivered almost every week, I would say, because we always talk about these great releases. And this time it's Umbraco block list package for Umbraco 10, the first release for Umbraco 10. And I checked quickly before we started the live stream the description and the README file on the block list package to understand more reasoning. And of course, Anders, and the Limbo team described why and how they use it in the team, and it's a great way to convert the output of the block list into basically anything what we wish, thanks to the type converters. Same was done for the different other packages, different other property editors from the Limbo team.
I really like that concept. It just makes every property editor sort of interceptable and allow you to control the output.
And again, it's also very familiar for me right now, because we used to do a transformations of the property editors into the JSON data for the headless consumptions in some of our integrations recently. And this is kind of type converter can be the transformation. So we try to automate it, and we know how hard it is to do that, especially thanks to the custom property editors and some various expectations from the output. But yeah, this might be really nice to be a kind of a pattern used, for example, transferring your site into headless, thanks to the type converters that would translate it into the JSON output. Why not, right? So I really like this concept too, and great work. And now available also for Umbraco 10. So that's from the package field. Not too many releases to mention, but there was also new Skrift articles released on November 1st. First of them is from Michael, who described his way of contributing to Umbraco and how he started, how he's doing, what is planned for the next future. I really like this article. I read it this week, and I think also Michael is doing the consistent, very high quality work for the community team, and also Umbraco and us, because Michael multiple times shared a lot of really nice insights from the pull request fields, from the Umbraco contributions straight directly to us. So it was very informational for me particularly, because we are not keeping an eye on every commit, and Mike is. So that's really great. And
if anyone did any contributions during Hacktoberfest, you'll have seen how on it Michael actually is. Like, PRs being picked up sometimes within minutes and approved or merged if relevant. Really
and this is where I've seen the web platform installer.
Yes,
that's where I remember that. But yeah, Mike also described a lot of ways of contributing, a lot of places where we can contribute as well, and also described some of the plans and his personal achievements thanks to this through this period of time. And big kudos to Mike for doing all of it. And there is a lot of more to come, probably from Mike. That's it. Take a read if you haven't read it yet. And the second article was about another ways of contributing and sharing knowledge from Aline about Umbraco festivals, with the highlight of Umbraco DK Festival that is happening soon.
3 weeks, 2.5 weeks. 3 weeks yesterday.
Yeah. So generally the festivals were also another huge way to contribute to the community, of course, by giving also a lot of knowledge to the community locally around the globe. And the spirit is back, and the way, thanks to circumstances in the world again, we can get back on track and visit a lot of fancy events and great events across the globe. And let's talk about these opportunities then now for a while, starting from Umbraco Together, which is very close in time.
2 weeks today. We have to mention it. I've got a banner as well. I'll put the banner along the bottom. Buy your tickets. The schedule's announced. Martin, if you click on the schedule, you can see a bit more detail about the talks.
Yeah, nice.
And there's it takes a little while to load. We have some great sessions. We've got a deep dive into the new block grid. We've got talks about minimal APIs, feature flags, some accessibility content, front end, an opportunity to ask Bjarka absolutely anything. And I'll a spoiler here. We've got a microphone called a catch box, which is this like soft box that's actually a microphone. And I've put it straight after lunch because it means we get to throw a box around the room and ask questions. It's a bit of fun.
The questions. That's really nice idea. Yeah.
Upgrades, web components, construct, 1 or 2 special guests that still. I just need them to confirm something, and then they'll be announced as well. But and Keck and people from HQ. We've got I think there'll be 13 or 14 people from HQ there. It'll be a really good event. So buy your ticket if you haven't already. I have to confirm catering numbers this afternoon. So and of course, I'm buffering as always, making some estimates because there's a few people who I know will buy tickets last minute. But please buy a ticket. And I was going to say as well, there is of course the option to attend virtually or to watch the talks live virtually. You can buy a ticket for that as well. A few people did this week, which is awesome. Pretty awesome. I'm hoping to see a few more people there live.
Yeah, if I can have one more CTA to that from the agency land, share it with your people inside of your teams, because for us it might be obvious something this is happening, but there is a lot of people who don't even know that something like this is happening nearby and next to their buildings. And,
indeed. Where this is located in Shoreditch, there's maybe 5 Umbraco agencies in a 5-minute walk from there, and I think we've got all of them coming now, which is good. But if you're local there, you should be there. If you're in the UK, I know Owen's making his way down on the train from Edinburgh, which is a big trek, but it's still possible for anyone to attend. So it'd be great. And of course, you mentioned agencies, Martin. We have sponsorship opportunities and stuff, which if you want to use the event as a way of really elevating your team's profile as well, reach out. There's a nice you can join that list of amazing other agencies at the bottom there that can that are also involved.
Nice. Yep, and I'm coming there from Poland as well, so that's a huge.
Wow.
So no excuses.
We've discussed before, Marcin, about umbraCoffee at Code Garden, where you end up filling every pocket, everything with a mug of some sort. You're not going to be doing that this year, are you?
You never know. I have a box of something what I showed at the beginning of the episode here to be
hundreds of posters as well. So they'll be there.
And again, it's always interesting for me to pass the security checks with all of this. Previously, with this microphone that looked like a rocket or something. Now I do not carry microphone. I carry mugs, coffee, coasters, and a lot of other stuff. But yeah, it's this time of the year which I really enjoy. And yeah, everyone who wants to join the celebrations and the Umbraco together, definitely worth doing this.
Warren's
if not in the UK.
Yes, Warren. Come to Umbraco together, and we will sort.
There might be something special waiting for you there. Yeah, if not in the UK, another opportunity very close in time. The week after is in Denmark, in Aarhus. That is also very popular location for Umbraco agencies and companies doing a lot of crazy things there. The program was released a while ago. Agenda looks also great. A lot of the same talks. So if there is no chance to attend in the UK, then DK is for the rescue, but also there are a lot of other talks. Tickets still on sale. The price went up. Of course, we mentioned it last week that there was a time only until November 1st probably to buy it with the early.
It's gone up, but to be clear, that's not expensive. This really isn't expensive.
I still do not have the conversion rate in my mind.
900 Danish krone, I think, is about €1,000 or £1,000. I'm going to double check that now. 900 DKK to GBP. Yeah, it's £105, about €100. It's not expensive. It's really not expensive. Especially for a day of packed full of learning, good food, socializing. Like it was great last time. And I have to tell you, we've for the Umbraco together this year, we've put it on for 50 quid, which is borderline impossible, shall we say? Like the reality is, these events do cost a lot of money. If you want a good space with good speakers and good food and whatever, it costs a lot of money. Eventually, we will have to go back to doing like a bigger festival, like a UK fest, which used to be £150 or so. I think we're going to be looking at more like 200 plus going forward, just given the cost of everything. But then think about it. That means 50 quid or 100 quid now is so cheap in comparison. So if you can afford it.
If we can compare it to the events that are outside of Umbraco community, I would say it's very crazy cheap, because again, I saw recently the event for a couple thousands of zlotys here in Poland, and it was packed with thousands of people attending. So it's like again, comparing the price for the value that is delivered, it's really interesting price to definitely. Price is not an excuse here, right? That's for sure.
Exactly. So, it shouldn't be an inhibitor. Ultimately, when your train or your flight costs more than the cost of the event, then this is as affordable as it can be. DK Fest last year was great, really great. They put pizzas on for the socializing afterwards, which I think there's a socializing networking thing as well. It was just a great opportunity to meet with people, laugh with people, see some friendly Danes that you don't get to see too often. Jan Skovgaard and.
Cool. So definitely check it out and buy tickets to help organizers prepare better for the event itself too.
As
and speaking about
last week, if you want to see me with hair in 2 weeks' time, buy a ticket. And I'm sure Melina's the same thing as well.
That's the organizer's life, especially that everything needs to be predicted, and then you don't want to look bad in front of the people who decided to buy the tickets last minute. So that's not easy, definitely. So definitely speed up if you want to attend. Chase appropriate people and make sure that you did everything what you could to make it happen from your side too. And we can jump to the biggest event on our list as well. That was announced for having this time on June 14th to 16th, and of course it's Code Garden next year. Plenty of time to plan, plenty of time to align. There was some highlights. Remember?
Oh, that's nice. The video thing's cool. It's good seeing. It's good to see it because for the past couple of years, the Code Garden branding's all been like photos and videos from 3 or 4 years before, hasn't it? Because there hasn't been it's all been virtual. Oh look, that's
a really nice video. Yeah,
to see all of this.
Yeah. So if you want to see something like this in the next year, definitely worth to secure the date.
I had the pleasure of chatting with with Steffi, who's the new events person at Umbraco HQ, when we were in the US, and this will be her first Code Garden that she'll be organizing. Her background is from organizing like TEDx events and stuff. Nice. So she's very experienced with this sort of thing, and I think this is going to be a very, very, very good event. I got an early heads up on the dates, and we've already booked our hotels, so it's happening.
But it was a pro tip from last year from you to do that up front for most occupied hotels, at least, because then it's impossible to get some rooms from them. Yeah. So yeah, that might be really nice. And thanks, Umbraco, for sharing the dates that early, because that was exactly what saved me last year also.
Yeah. So yeah, the important thing to note here is, of course, they've got a call for papers open, which is open now, which is very unusual for Code Garden, at least from the past 3 or 4 years, 2019 maybe. They've typically had a CFP open for about 3 weeks from February.
It's a very long period.
And I've complained about it every year. Sorry. But 3 weeks is too short, not only because you don't get much warning that it's going to happen, so you can't even start thinking or planning, but also for people who maybe aren't used to speaking, that's not much time to run a workshop, some ideas, or to get feedback on your talk proposal or anything like that. So submit early, and hopefully that means Umbraco will provide any feedback or tweaks that you need sooner. Yeah. People will always leave it to the very last minute to submit. I know Ilham sent me a screenshot from there where I was literally 1 second before the deadline.
But I can say something. I've made an improvement from my side, because I prepared some of the proposals for the previous event, and as it's using Sessionize, which is awesome for the speakers, I submitted my 2 talks ideas in the first hour, probably after this was announced, which was probably the fastest submission I ever did in my whole life and career and history. So yeah, I made it. So I like this kind of wide range of time, because from the organizer's perspective, it's also a lot of time to really process it, align, as we've said, give some feedback, maybe discuss, maybe see what is the most interesting now and what might be interesting in the future, etc. So that's really good to see. And again, everyone who has some ideas, throw them out, because that's the time for it, and it's open now.
Yeah, fantastic. So, yeah, again, it gives me a bit of time to think, doesn't it? But the only thing I now wish, again, I've got a little shopping list of wishes here, haven't I? But narrowing it down to only 2 topics is super difficult, right? Especially between now, when we've not even just V11's not even out, and then when V12 will be more or less launching, I think 2 or 3 weeks later. The Umbraco landscape is going to change quite significantly. So what talks and whatever are going to be relevant is going to be difficult. So narrowing that down to 2 right now, big challenge. But at least I've got some time to think, right?
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, we'll see, and I'm sure that the organizer will pick up the very diverse and also a packed set of talks from the different landscapes and different areas, and everyone will find something interesting.
If there was anyone you particularly enjoyed last year, reach out to the events team, Trina or Steffi or Sarah, and tell them, because I was again chatting with them about which talks that we really think were amazing, and I mentioned people like Matt Augustin's talk, which was just really epic, and I love that he stayed around and he engaged with the event and interacted. He came on umbraCoffee, those sorts of things. Those people that really made an impact on your Code Garden experience, let them know, because they'll try and get them back, and it just makes for a better event, right?
That was really nice. And if not Code Garden, that's a nice start to another topic. There's Umbraco Community Day. Earlier, just maybe to practice some of the talks, also explore some other ideas and what people are doing around the Umbraco. And Callum, tell us and people more about this initiative, because you are one of them.
The history of this actually dates back. The history of this dates back to May of 2020, where Henk and I were preparing to do a live stream for the Azure YouTube channel on how you set up Umbraco running on Azure. And I mentioned, with COVID, what was going to go on with events. He mentioned they had an interest in doing a virtual Duke Fest. I said I'd already spoken with HQ about doing a like Umbraco around the world, or in fact, the working title at that time was Umbraco Together, and having a fully virtual event where we maybe have different hosts in different time zones and make it a bit of a community celebration. So that idea has been there a while. Henk and I were talking in the past year as well about how we could combine forces with the UK foundation and the Dutch foundation to see if we could do something a bit better. And well, Henk basically said last week, let's just do something. So here is the end result. Cornima, myself, and Henk are working to organise Umbraco Community Day. As I said, the idea is it's a celebration of the community, an opportunity to learn, completely free to attend, completely virtual, and we'll have a variety of formats is the idea. So some speakers doing lightning talks, maybe 15 minutes, 30 minutes, or even like hour-long or 2-hour-long code-alongs for maybe not 24 hours, but we're going to aim for a really decent stint with the event. So we'd love to have people from all over the world here, and maybe if you want to arrange like a watch party or something, you could do that too.
Nice.
So yeah, that's the idea. Those timings that are there will change inevitably as the program evolves. But call for speakers is open till December 1st. Submit your ideas. If you don't know what you want to do and want some guidance, there's an email, day@umbraco.community, and we'll help you out as well.
Nice. But by the way, we were teasing the Sessionize people to create a listing of events from their database for the speakers to. No, it doesn't exist. There was to attend.
Papercall, which is the other one, had a really nice list. I was sure there's a directory on Sessionize.
No, they say they work on it right now. So that would be really, really cool for speakers and organizers also to see what's happening. And then for us as a potential speakers, it's usually like, we can reuse some of the sessions for which we submitted previously, and that's amazing across the events. It makes it a lot faster and a lot easier to be rejected again.
Sorry, there is a Discover Events feature on Sessionize now.
Really?
Yep. Nice. So as long as you filled out your profile properly with the right tags, your location, etc., you are able to discover events that have opted into that and that match your profile settings. So you can't just find any event in there. The listing is tailored to your interests, but
because they said that they will work on this to expose it better. So that will be a really cool feature for all of us. But off topic. Podcasts.
Go submit a topic to a community day.
Exactly. 2 podcasts to highlight this week with our community representatives. One is Behind the Source with Paul Seal. It's about Umbraco. We know Paul is doing a lot of contributions, a lot of work, a lot of activities like his sessions on Discord and everywhere, basically videos on YouTube. So Paul shares here a lot everything that he do and what Umbraco is, how he is involved. I quickly scanned through the podcast, but I still need to listen it up. But I really like this way of being able to listen it on every possible player here. Check it out, and Paul, good representation of Umbraco in front of the other listeners as well out there. So that's a lot about Umbraco and a lot about other things too, with the transcript as well. I didn't see that previously.
Well, that's really good.
Yeah, that's really, really good. So it would be easy to check what's there.
By reading it, and it makes it searchable and Googleable. DXP. Take a shot.
The XP. And another podcast to be mentioned this week to be added to the list is Purnima's episode on the Unhandled Exception podcast with Dan Clark. And Purnima was talking there about GRPC. And that's another hot topic. Not that
I
hot
wanted
anymore.
to propose a GRPC topic to Code Garden last year, and it was maybe a little bit fresh for people that are just getting used to .NET Core. But this is a really powerful technology that's going to become more and more prevalent in the next few years for wanting to build bigger systems and inter-system communications and stuff. very powerful. So,
yeah, and again, in the episode, Purnima takes us through the .NET 6, .NET 7, also the speed, performance, and everything what is relevant with the technology. And again, it's as I said, it was hot, it is hot, and still very not explored by many. So yeah, that's a good episode, and probably worth listening to everyone who might be interested in implementing gRPC. Anywhere,
and
basically.
Carl gets a shout out as well. I've not listened to the episode yet, but he was mentioned, and I know that Dan and Carl know each other, so it's good. Purnima's did a talk recently, might have been London.net, might have been a different one, Milton Keynes, not sure, but she's had a lot of the kind of the hardcore, long time, very famous Umbraco .NET community people in the UK praising her for this talk and the content she's been doing on gRPC. So go give it a listen.
Nice.
Smashing it, as we already know.
Yeah. Cool. 2 announcements from the Umbraco blog this week. One is highlighting the integration of Umbraco for CMS and forms with ActiveCampaign, and I was very happy with it because ActiveCampaign is one of my favorite email marketing tools that I use a lot, and it's great to see it being integrated and covered with the DXP expansion of Umbraco. And yeah, if you haven't seen or haven't used ActiveCampaign, it's also worth checking it. It's one of my favorite tools for the email automations because you can have email sequences, if checks, you can program your email sequences, which is amazing. So and it's a real
similar, and it's real nightmare to actually configure.
Yeah.
So
UI is crazy there. Yeah.
Great.
So here it's described how the integration was done, and again it's basic integration, and we can use it, we can extend it, we can see the code of it, and set up the workflows and everything else there. I love it, and the blog post is just amazing. So kudos to Umbraco for doing it, and probably more to come in the next DXP expansion. Yeah, that's ActiveCampaign. And UProfile for the October, and Mike being awarded with this title. And Mike was present on various events during the year. Also attended the Code Garden as a first timer. And yeah, he covered a lot of interesting aspects of being a community member. Here shared also the picture with Matt Storgensen and Shannon from the event itself.
Coffee.
Oh yeah, I just noticed that. Yeah, that's great follow. And yeah, generally, if you haven't met Mike or you want to learn more about Mike and his contributions to the community, check out the blog post here. And yeah, congrats, Mike, for being awarded with UPro. And he loves penguins. Yeah,
I love penguins. That's good.
Do you have a collection of mugs with penguins too?
I don't have mugs, but I've got some stuffed like plush penguin toys from when I was a kid somewhere.
Yeah, that's nice. Yeah, I don't know why, but I also always I'm amazed by penguins when I see them in the zoos or anything else. They're not that common in Polish zoos, at least, but everywhere where I'm abroad, it's just amazing. And I have seen the Great Zoo recently. I can't remember, it was in Spain somewhere, where the whole island was there. Well, that's penguins. Maybe I will go there with me.
Talking about penguins.
Yeah, and zoos across the globe. Let's go back to Headless. Because there was one more blog post popped out from Jeroen today, and there was a meetup this week. That's
yesterday with a decent number of talks as well. I've not.
And I was going to just I just wanted to say kudos to Jeroen for blogging, sharing videos, doing. And again, very consistent community work for both communities, Sitecore and Umbraco as well, because he's doing a lot of work there. But this blog is about the Headless Umbraco, and I wanted to relate it with a meeting that we had with Umbraco Headless community team. It was done this week as well, and I haven't listed it out on the news link. We had the first catch up. It was one of the 4 catch-ups which we will have as a team during the year. And Sam was also part of the catch-up there. So we discussed a lot of updates from the Umbraco perspective for the Headless, how we see Headless, how we do Headless amongst all the community team members. It was a very good meeting, I must say, and we look forward for more. And of course, Morten and Lasse from the Umbraco teams were collecting the input, sharing the feedback from their side, and there's a lot of great discussions out there. But this was these slides are from Jeroen's and Sam's presentation done yesterday on how they've done Headless, how they do Headless with Umbraco now. And even if we don't understand Dutch, we can see a lot of interesting examples and ways of doing the work by the team, and also with the demo package done there. So yeah, good one, and thanks Jeroen for sharing this. And yeah, more of it probably.
As Arnold is saying here, they had slot car racing, which I think,
yes, I saw it on Twitter somewhere.
I think we call that Scalextrics in the UK, but it's slot cars, and they had burgers and things as well. It looked like an epic meetup. Looked very good. Definitely, the Dutch group are always leveling up, aren't they, when it comes to festivals or the meetups. So.
Yeah, but then blog posts, videos, tweets, that's exact exposure, which makes it all visible for all the other people who might be interested. And yeah, then more of it to come. And yeah, shoot out and share anything what you have interesting to share. We'll be always highlighting it also in umbraCoffees. And yeah, that's all from the list today. Did we miss anything? Probably.
Yeah, we missed something. But whatever, it's fine. It's live.
Yeah, it's live. But again, to wrap it up, thanks for all of you who supports us, who watch us, who bought us as a coffee or anything, or pizza or donuts. That was very huge.
Shout out to Tim Rakovan again. Because Tim, we are so grateful, and he supported us on many occasions, including today. So yeah, thank you. And I made sure he got his mug and when I had a coaster and stuff when I was in the US. And I hope we get to see him again in future, maybe at a time, Marcin, where we've got a bit more swag to give away. It really helped us a lot.
Thank you very much. And yeah, thanks for all of you who have been our guests, either virtually or offline on some events. We'll keep it up and keep it going. And we hope to see you on every possible future occasion on umbraCoffee in the real life or online. And yeah, definitely as usual, we'll see each other next Friday. So thanks, Callum. Thanks everyone for being with us on the episode 250, which is not 250.
251, but it's fine.
And we'll keep this confusions in place just to make more fun out of it. And yeah, so see you all next Friday. Have a lovely weekend and the rest of the day. And see you soon, everyone.